Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be installing some door linings, carrying on with the plasterboard, and we're going to have a look at the chimney again. Right guys, so I'm going to show you how to prepare a door lining. This is a pre-made one or pre-cut one, so you've got your, I believe that's a 32-inch door and a 30-inch door widths underneath. You've got the legs, you've got the head, and you've got the door stop to go with it. This is just one from B&Q, so it's a what's that? I can't even see, where am I reading? It's 132mm wide door lining. Unfortunately, I need to add some add-ons to make it wider because I couldn't find any door linings bigger. But we'll put this together and I'll show you how I was taught in college how to assemble these door linings. So the first thing we're going to do is just open our door lining. And then we need to then process and have a look to see which side's the best, which is going to go to the face and the face edge, and we'll assemble it from there. So what I'm looking for, guys, on this one is this: we need to look what's going to be the inside of the door lining, what's going to be on show, and what's going to be back edge. Now this is quite knotty all the way up. I can see there's a chip by there which I don't really want on my door lining, but we'll turn it over, we'll process this side and have a look at it. A little bit of damage there where the knot was. There's a knot there. This is also quite knotty. You've got this grain here is all sapping, so that's worse, really, in my opinion, to the other side. So this is going to be the back edge. We flip it over, and what I'm going to do now is process each edge, which is going to be the face facing the hallway. So we'll just have a look down, and I can see couple of knots. It's got that chip there which I don't really want on the face, so it's not too bad apart from that chip. We look down this edge, got one big knot there, and then there's another knot there, but that's pretty good. So this is going to be my face edge, and this side's going to be my face, or face edge, blah. So get a pencil out, we're going to mark this up so we don't forget. This is going to be my face, and that's going to be my face edge. That's going to be the inside lining. That's going to be facing the whole side. We'll repeat this process all the way around, and we'll assemble a frame with all our faces out and our face edges inside. So now I've got my face edges. I just picked the best ends. So even though that's got a knot up there, that's the best edge. That way there's no knots up there. I've kept a knot down at the bottom where it's out of sight. So the face edges are the best I can get all the way around. We're sort of governed by this because this rebate either side is where we're sticking the width of the lining in. So you can see my little marks there. So all I need to do now is make sure these are all flush both sides. We're going to pilot down the back edge, 2 screws, 100mm screws in. You can glue it, but I'm not going to. In college we've shown to glue and nail it, and it wouldn't be a full rebate like that. We'd have just a little like 10mm by 10mm, so that would be across, 10mm across, glue and nail, and then we just set our lining out. So all I've done here, guys, is use a countersink drill bit, just make a clearance hole in the timber, and then countersink the head. I've pulled all these screws in to put it all tight. You probably would have noticed on the GoPro, I flipped this lining round, so my face is on the bottom now, and still got the face edge here, just got this edge with a chip in, because when I put the lining in, it was actually thinner than the head, so we had a big gap, about 5mm on the back edge, and it wasn't flush on the front, and a big 5mm gap. So I switched around, so I know this leg is not parallel, it's smaller down the bottom, which is not a big issue, because as long as my face is all okay with the doors swinging and it's all flush with the door, I can then put add-ons on the other side and whatever I need to do to make it parallel with the walls. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure my legs are parallel all the way down on the lining. So I'm just going to get a bit of batten or a bit of timber, whatever you've got laying around, and I'm just going to mark where the inside of the lining is. So we're going to mark that point there, and mark this point by here, tidy, and then I'm going to transfer that down to the bottom. We're going to go like 1700 from the inside of the lining, and we're going to tack it in place. That'll keep my legs parallel so they're not running out, and then we'll brace the corner 90 degrees to make sure it's square, so it makes it a bit easier when hanging the lining or installing the lining. Well, I would carry on measuring out this lining, guys, and getting it installed, but like always, I put stuff down in the night. I put it wherever I can put it, and now I can't find my measuring tape. I've gone through like 4 measuring tapes on this job, and I keep putting them down and losing them and putting them in places, and I can never seem to find them. So give me 5 minutes and I should be back with you, hopefully, once I find the measuring tape in this absolute messy clutter of a house. When we were taught in college, we were taught to put bracing either side to make sure there's no twists in it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take the twists out once I install it by packing it out and using a laser level. I ping a laser level from the front edge to the back edge and parallel all the way down. So all this is straight, but as you can see, it's hard to tell because of the camera, but there's a hell of a shape in that leg. It's twisted to hell. But we'll pull it all out, pack it all out, and get it screwed and fixed in nice and plumb and square. Right, so to get this frame now square, guys, or as square as it can be at this stage, I'm doing the 3-4-5 method. So I've measured 300mm across here to that point, 400mm down to this point, and then I've marked out 500mm from here all the way to that point. And what I want to do is line up that with that and make sure that lines up with that. Now if I just adjust it roughly, you can see all those points are almost perfect. So I'm going to tack the one end in, smack on where it needs to be, and then just adjust the frame by pushing the corner in and out, tack it, and then get 2 fixings in there, 2 fixings there, and it'll get it held nice and square. And that is the frame ready to be installed. So if you've done the 3-4-5 method, guys, just double check with the square if you've got one, because I've just done it now and it's slightly out, and I've adjusted it and it's slightly out again, so that's a bit annoying, but that's no big deal when it comes to installing it. So the next step will be cut these excess bits off. I've always been taught measure your opening, the structural opening, and then cut the horns to suit the structural opening with equal spaces either side, so the legs can adjust down the opening, and then you can pack accordingly, and that means the head will be secured in between the brickwork and won't go anywhere. So that's what we're going to do. Cut these all off, cut the horns on the ends to the right width. That's already cut to the right amount, and also you're going to want to cut your legs to suit your door, and then because we've got just screed, we got to allow for our flooring, so it's going to be 3mm for the head, 5mm clearance for the bottom, plus wherever you think the flooring's going to be. And on all these door linings at the moment, I've had to cut about 3 or 4mm off the bottoms. So I just use a floorboard saw or a tenon saw just to take it off neatly. And once that's done, it's ready to go in the opening and be fixed. So that is the frame done, square, paralleled, and fixed in the heads. And then I haven't cut the legs because I've worked out we're having carpet, so I've allowed 15mm for that. And that works out with a 3mm gap up there, 5mm gap on the bottom of the door, and then 15mm clearance for the carpet. Fingers crossed it's not too thick, the carpet. And I won't have to plane the door down. So let's put this in the opening temporary to see what it looks like. So that's the frame. So the issue we've got is we're going to be skimming over these walls. It's going to probably be a good few mil of plaster, probably about 5 or 6, maybe more. So what I want to do is bring this line in past the existing plaster enough to put a new coat on, so it doesn't bow out that way, so it's all flat. But then as you can see here, we've probably got about 15 to 20mm step there. So what I'm going to have to do is get some beading or sort of trim, glue and pin it all the way around this edge just to bring it past the plasterboard, past the plaster, and then we can put architrave on once it's all skimmed, and that will be another door lining in. Right guys, so that's the 2-bedroom door linings made up and roughly put in place. As I said, I've got to put add-ons onto the whole side because the doors are opening inwards and I want a nice solid fixing for the hinge rather than a little lip and some pin and glue. So yeah, those two are ready to be installed. I've already fitted in the bathroom lining, packed it, screwed it, foamed it, so that is all solid and secure, nice and lovely, ready for the bathroom to be finished boarding and skimming. I've also made up the door lining for over here, but I need to nibble off all the brickwork here, trim the plasterboard back, board the reveals and then put it in, and we should be good and golden for plastering. And I just need to finish off this board across the head and down the side. But as you can see, still a hell of a mess, keeping on top of tidying and trying to get everything done. Right guys, so I've boarded the underside of the steel. I'll get up the ladder now so you can have a little look. I put a laser along and put timber battens either side level, and then I put OSB on the underside because I need some well, not temporary, but I need some fixings across the bottom of the steel so I can get some 20mm screws in there. And then I also put the fire rated plasterboard on the bottom, and now I'm fire rating boarding this whole elevation in the vaulted ceiling, and I'll run it across that steel. And once I finish this ceiling over here, I can then fireboard the other side of the steel, and that is ready for skimming. The ceiling will be ready for skimming. I just need to do the dot and dab on this wall and that pillar over there, and then I can get the plaster in, skim all the ceiling and finish the walls. Right guys, so now you're all caught up and you know the news about how we are pregnant, which is quite exciting. We've been really slow doing all the work we've been doing, but today I'm going to try and finish off this wall. I've just scraped it all back and I'm about to prime it ready, and then once it dries, I can start dot and dabbing. And moving on from there, just try and get all the plasterboard in this room finished, ready for skimming. This is the solution I've been using to prime the walls, a stabilising solution, water-based treatment. So I basically scrape all the flakiness off the walls, try and get all the powderiness off the walls and hack any loose bits off. Once that's done, give it a brush off, and then I apply this quite liberally and let it set. This is just going to seal all the dryness and all the flakiness together to make a solid surface, and also when I put my dot and dab on it, it won't just draw all the moisture and delaminate off the wall.
Here Rhys is fitting plywood to the wall. This is because we have the electrician coming tomorrow and he is going to install us a new consumer unit. The current consumer unit is awkwardly placed in the attic void. Here's what it looks like now that we have a new consumer unit in. Eventually this whole area will be a nice new wardrobe. A few months ago, you will have seen us start to work on the chimney breast. Our plan is to restore this. It was covered all in black mortar, and we've been trying our best to get it all out and to clean all the bricks off.
Right guys, after a long time of leaving this as it is and not working on it, we are back to working on it. I did try and use a multi-tool to grind out, that didn't work. So I picked up this, I don't know, some sort of diamond tipped piece that screws onto the angle grinder. It's quite long, I think it's about 8 to 10 mil, so it's perfect for perps. I'm just putting my grinder on a lower setting and just slowly grinding out. Natasha's coming along with the hoover and just hoovering the worst of the dust out. So yeah, we're just going to work our way through this now, try and get it all pointed, give it one more clean, and it should be ready then for pointing with lime mortar. So with the news of the baby coming in May, and we have to get everything sorted as soon as possible, we've put this to one side and we're going to get back to the fireplace in the future. If you guys enjoyed this video, as always, please leave a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And catch up with us next week when we start to fit the doors.